What holds you back from taking the exams faster? Courtney, maybe I'll stick with you on this.
I took my first exam 10 years ago and failed it and was so discouraged that I didn't take another exam until 2 years ago, in which then I passed all of them on the first try. And I guess the thing holding me back was fear, but once I just got over that and learned how to pass exams and read a few books and listened to some blogs, then nothing was holding me back really. I just went for it.
Yeah. Okay. Megan, how about you?
So I would have never taken the 5.0s the way I did, except for the incentive, which if you don't know what that was, in February, they offered a free retake for every test that you took, so it kind of eliminated all the risks. I waited so long to start taking them because same thing, the fear. I had been out of school 2 years and I just never felt like I was going to be ready enough and life was too busy for me to really say, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this. So having said that, I think that pretty much you should just go take them. Like the fear thing, now that I'm past it, seems silly.
Totally.
Yeah. I hear that all the time. Mike often says, if you guys were a bunch of business students, MBA students, and you had to take these exams, you would just sign up for all of them and take them all and know just based on probability, you'd probably pass half of them without even studying for them. And then you would have 3 or 4 left to study for. So some folks might think that's reckless, but on the other hand, as you say, it does conquer fear, which is very common. And that the issue about getting discouraged, I hear that a lot about folks who, they have 1 or 2 and they don't get the result they want. And then, man, they're sort of like, to hell with that. Okay. Joe.
Yeah, so I started testing a month after graduating from college. So I kind of pushed myself to get into that early. So that didn't really hold me back. But what held me back was waiting for the 5.0 exam to come out. And then similar to Megan, we have to wait for our results for a month or 2. So that was another kind of limbo, not knowing if you passed or if you failed or not. So.
Okay. And then
it's now resolved. 5.0s now you find out within like 24 to 48 hours if you pass.
And then, and Joe, did you get to take advantage of the incentives as well?
Yeah, I did. So it was like Megan was saying, the free retake, and then they even were giving away $100 gift cards for the first 500, I believe, or 200. Yeah,
they were really throwing money at you guys. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. I guess the last time they transitioned, I think from 3.1 to 4.0, there was a lot of heartburn about that transition, and so I think that they took it really seriously. So it was good to see that. Kate, how about yourself?
I think the biggest thing that held me back from taking the test faster was just finding the time to study. So making sure that if I set a date that I had at least 3 weeks beforehand where I didn't have a deadline or didn't have plans on the weekend that would prevent me from really hunkering down and studying. That was the biggest challenge, and just I definitely would have taken them back to back if I could have, but just found that I had to schedule them a lot more sporadically throughout the year.
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem that a lot of folks have. Kate, when in your career did you take these exams? Did you take them? I'm not sure how much experience you have right now. So,
sure. I graduated in 2013.
Okay.
And then I started taking my tests in 2015. So I waited about 2 years after I was out of school.
Okay.
To start taking them.
Yeah, that seems like a very reasonable time to start. I know a lot of folks who kind of get stuck and find study time. They've waited 10 or 15 years, and then they're like, "Oh my God, how am I going to find the time?" We often find that there's just never a good time to do this.
Right.
In fact, not to be on sales pitch mode, but you're just making me think about the group coaching program that we just launched, and how I guess that's kind of the goal of it really is to sort of, you kind of commit to being in a study group, you meet, regularly. And then I guess the idea there is to kind of try to engineer the problem of finding study time? Is that like we just sort of, you kind of commit to the group and it's kind of created ahead of time? Have any of you done any study groups like that? I don't know. This is just off the top of my head, but at AIA or within your firm that have been helpful to you guys?
My firm has a group that meets regularly that just kind of goes over, it's not necessarily a study group in the sense that we like talk about specific questions. Sometimes we will go over specific tests in a general sense, but it's just more of a like motivation meeting, see where everyone's at and to keep everyone going.
I like that. Has anyone else experienced any kind of coaching that's been useful?
I found the Facebook group, this is Courtney. I found the Facebook group and the Google Plus group to be a great community to keep each other going and ask questions.
Yep. Anyone else?
This is Kate. And actually, our local AIA component organized a Black Spectacle study class, and I helped organize it and put it together. And they were actually studying for different tests, but what helped me a lot was showing up and helping other people study. And that really motivated me a lot to help wrap up my own tests.
Yeah, that's super smart. That's super smart. Of course, they say the best way to learn something is to teach it. So is that what you're kind of talking about?
Right, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome.